In this video, we will see how we can read and print built-in data types in programming language Python. First of all, uh, focus on this function input. We can read any value using input function or method. There are about four different variants of input function. First one is list of variables, then assignment operator, then the name of the function, that is input, then within the parenthesis string constant, and dot split. Split is a method. So all lowercase letters split and opening and closing parentheses. Now the example is, you can say x comma y, assignment operator, input, and within the parenthesis this is the string constant. So this is nothing but a prompt, and then dot split. So this function will wait for you. First it will prompt type two values colon one space, and then it will be waiting for you to type in two values. You can type two values without separating them by comma. So just separate them by space, and the first value type would be assigned to x, second value type would be assigned to y. The next variation is list of variables, then assignment operator, input, dot split. It means there is no prompt, there is no string constant like here. So what will it do? Example is x comma y equal to, or assignment operator, input, opening closing parentheses, because there is no string constant, dot split. So it will wait for you to type in two values, but it will not print anything onto the monitor before you type. The third variation is a single variable, assignment operator, input, and within the parenthesis string constant. It means that the prompt. Example is x, assignment operator, input, and within the parenthesis, within the double quotes, some string constant. So it is a prompt. So it will print this, and then it will wait for you to type in single value. And the fourth one is variable, assignment operator, and input. So here it will wait for you to type in, but it will not print anything before you type any value for the variable x. This is the example. But this is most important. Input always returns a string. That is typical of Python programming language. When you type something at the keyboard, the input method or input function returns it in the form of a character string. It is up to us to convert it to proper format, whether it is to be treated as an integer or a string or a complex number or a floating point number. Okay. Now let us consider the print function. The print function is print. We can print using print itself. So now three variations. Print list of values. So for example here print within double quotes, so it is a string, comma, ABC. Okay. Next one is print list of values, comma, n equal to, within single quotes, if I write nothing, it will say that after printing these values, do not go to the next line. So no new line characters. I told you in one of the earlier videos that in Python programming language, implicit new line character is there when we use print function. Okay, so I want to suppress it. So example is print. This is the character string followed by a variable followed by n equal to single quotes without any space between them. So what will it do? It will print two values, and the cursor will be waiting for you to the to type in or to output something else in the same line. And the last one is print. It prints simply a new line. It means it will bring the cursor to the first position of the next line. One thing to be noted, there is no formatting character. So there are no formatting characters in Python programming language. It is unlike C programming language. So I have made a small script to demonstrate all these basic built-in data types. On the right pane, I have written the small script, and on the left pane, sorry, let me execute the script. Now, the first one is this line. It is a standard shebang line. And don't worry about it. Import my_math. This is one package I have written for my own purpose. So I will be making use of it to demonstrate something. In some other video, I will tell you how we can make our own modules and packages. So first line after this is str equal to input. So here it is using one variation of input. It is waiting for me here to type in something. You may type anything. So suppose I have typed this ABCD. If I press enter, now you can see so many things. Okay, so many things it is printing. Sorry, I will clear this. Now corresponding to this print, it has printed this string left justified. By default, printing is done using left justification. It means the printing starts from the leftmost position of the line. And this type function is used to tell you the type of the argument. So what type of str is? We have typed some character string, so it should print a string. Now you must have observed I have written more than one statement in the same line, separating them by semicolon. So it is a statement terminated, just like C or C++ programming language. So here, what is it doing? It is telling me that the data type here is str for string. Now next line, print str.rjust. It is a string. Its member method or function is rjust, means right justification, and 10. What does this mean? This means reserve 10 spaces onto the monitor, but print the value of str, this variable, by leaving leading spaces, sufficient number of leading spaces. So here you can see ABCD, it has 4 characters. So out of 10, it will leave 6 character first, 6 character spaces, and then it will print ABCD. It will be right justified. Okay. Now next one is this one. It's the same variable. I'm assigning 0B111. So 0B, by making use of 0B, I'm telling the system that following digits are binary digits. So I can assign a binary number to a variable. Now I am using another variation of print function here, print str comma type of str. Now you can see here, so this is the value printed here is 7, and what is its type? Still integer. Though we are representing it in the form of binary, but ultimately it is an integer. Next one is 0xab. This represents hexadecimal representation. It is hexadecimal representation of an integer. Now here I have intentionally mixed the cases. So it is uppercase letter A followed by lowercase letter b. I could have written both the letters in lowercase or both the letters in uppercase. Meaning remains the same. So capital A or A in hexadecimal format represents 10, whereas B represents 11. Now base of the counting system is 16. So 10 shifted towards one position would be multiplied by 16. So the result becomes 160 plus value of B, which is 11, it is 171. So it will print 171, and in the next line it will print the type of str. So this is 171 here, and type is int. So representation is hexadecimal notation, but it is still integer. Now this one, whatever is the value written here, it is up to us. We should write the correct variable name. It prints it as hexadecimal. Now you can see here, it has printed it in hexadecimal notation. The same value it is printing. The next one is, sorry, str equal to 0 lowercase o 157. This means I want to assign this str a value in octal notation. In octal counting system, base is 8. Okay, so all following digits would be less than or equal to 7 and greater than or equal to 0. So 157. So this is 1 multiplied by 8 to the power 2, which is 64, plus 5 multiplied by 8, which is 40. So 64 plus 40 is 104 plus 7, 111. So it will print 111. You can see here. Okay, so it will print this value. The next one is I can convert this string 111, some decimal number, integer number. I would like to convert it into octal. So it converts it into octal and assigns it to this variable. So this print would print it as octal. Now you can see here, it was 111 in the previous lines, and here 111 has been converted into octal, and in the octal format it will be printed as 00157. And here you can see the type of this converted number is string. So 00157 is being represented as a string, not an integer. Okay, so whenever we are given some string, you can convert it into integer provided that it represents an integer. It is like this. Within single quote 1, 2, 3, it is not 123. It is 1, 2, 3 within single quotes. So just preceded by this word int, it converts this string into an integer and prints it on the monitor. You can see here it has printed 123. Next one, 1.3. We print the value of this floating point number in fixed notation and print the type of this. So you can see here two values it will print one after the other. This is 1.3. Okay. Class was str 123. It has already printed. Corresponding to this 1.3 it has printed. But what is the type? The type is float here. Okay. Type is float. So now the next one, I'm writing this floating point number in scientific notation. So 2.1 e minus 2. It means 2.1 multiplied by 10 power minus 2. It will print this, and let us check what is the type. So it prints the value 0.01 because I have not asked it to print it in scientific notation. I have assigned the value in scientific notation. So 2.1 multiplied by 10 power minus 2 is what? 0.021. So it has printed. And what is the data type? The data type used here is float. Isn't it? Now, next line, it is input, type of float. So it has printed this. And it is waiting for me to type in some number, some floating point number in any notation. So I'm writing, suppose 1.3 itself. So as I told you that whatever we type in response to input function, it is returned as a string. So I am typing here 1.3. So it is not a numerical value here. input returns it as a string 1.31.3. So it is up to us to convert it into floating point number. I will say float str. So here str now becomes a floating point number or real number. Now this is the way we can format. I will say okay, I would like to print it as a floating point number, the dot format str. What is the format? I will say okay, print it in scientific notation. So once I press enter, now you can see here corresponding to this it is in scientific notation. So it is 1.3 followed by 5 zeros. So if you recall, by default the floating point numbers in single precision, it prints 6 digits after decimal point. So it has done so. Now it is printing lowercase e, lowercase e here. Okay. Now in the next line, it is 0.13. It means a capital E. What does it mean? Format str. It means after decimal point, I require 13 digits of precision and E is to be written in uppercase letters. So now you can see here. So 13 digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 multiplied by 10 power 0, that which is 1. So it is printing like this. Now if I say so it has printed 1.3 and so many zeros, it means 1.3 is being printed as 1.3. But now what happens? In this case, if I have increased the precision to 98 digits after decimal point, now you can see the game here, this one. After printing 1.3 and so many zeros, it starts printing non-zero digits. It means internally it has stored not it as 1.3 only, something else. As I told you a number of times in previous videos also, that never rely on floating point computation. So its limitation is to compute up to this point, so it has printed. Might have not used 98 places after decimal point, because after 5 it might be representing or storing zeros. Now same thing, if I want to print in scientific notation, lowercase e I have used. Now you can see in the next line 1.3, so many zeros, same values, and then it keeps on printing zeros. So this is the way we can format a floating point number. Now here the complex number str equal to 2 minus 3j. This is the way we can assign complex numbers. Then it will print the string that is str variable, that is complex number, and it will print the type of it. So you can see here it has printed 2 minus 3j. Okay, and what is its type? Its type is this complex. Now it is asking me intentionally, what I have done here is input. So type a complex number. So it is waiting for me. Here it has printed the prompt and it is waiting for me to type a complex number. So suppose I have typed 3 plus 4j. Press enter. Okay, so I have typed the complex number. What it has done is printed the complex number where here, and its type is complex. Next data type I am considering here is the bool. Okay, so true I have assigned. It will print the value of a variable which will be true, and then it will print the data type. So you can see here it has printed true, and here it has printed bool. Now, as I told you that the internally values true and false, they are stored as 1 and 0 respectively. So internally true is stored as 1. Since it is a numerical value 1, it can take part in any mathematical computation, so which can be seen here. Print str plus 7. So true is 1. So what does it do? It prints 8. Now the next one is, now in school days, if you recall, we were told that after or up to 2 places after decimal point, value of pi is 3.14, which can be approximated by 22 by 7, 22 divided by 7. So we used to remember and we could calculate 3.14. Okay, and we know that the 22 divided by 7 never terminates. So let me print this 22 by 7, and I'm expecting 98 digits after decimal point if they are not 0. So here it prints like this: 3.1428571 and so on up to 125. And if you count, these are not 98 in number. It means after this it is printing zeros. Okay, now I'm using the method divide of my package my_math. So what does it do? It takes first argument as numerator, next argument is denominator, and number of digits after decimal point. What it has printed is this. It has printed 98 digits. Okay, it is just the conventional method of dividing a numerator by the denominator. Now you can see here it is producing the same values up to and including, you can say, up to this. These many digits it has printed identical. But here it is 7, here it is 8, here it is 9, here it is 5. It means the conventional division which gives you the correct value, but by making use of the built-in operator for floating point division or numerical division, it depends on floating point representation, so it does not give you the correct value. Up to certain digits it will give you correct value. So in case of floating point computations, up to 4, 5, 6 digits you will get these same values. But if you want higher precision, I repeat, one should not rely on floating point computation. The correct values are these, and you can continue dividing, as we know that it never terminates. That is all in this video. Thanks.